In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars, the Vintage Collection Power Droid. Hi there Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk Bounty video, and welcome to my review of the Vintage Collection Power Droid, which has literally just come out. It's hitting Target stores everywhere in the US, and hopefully everyone else in the UK especially will be able to get their hands on this guy pretty soon. Let's take a look at the card back straight away without wasting any time. Stand there, Bossk, for a minute. So here is the card back, and I've got to say this card back is one that we've needed in the Vintage Collection for a very long time. Can't believe it's actually taken them this long to give it us, really. It is one of the original 96 card backs and figures, and just looking at him in the bubble there, he looks absolutely great. We'll get onto the figure itself in a second, but we're just going to marvel at that card back. Looks really, really nice indeed. And, you know, really sets off that nostalgia. We have the Kenner logo at the bottom, of course, as we have with all the Vintage Collection figures. We've got the Power Droid name pill there, and I just love that pinky purple that they have chosen, which looks very, very similar to the original card back. Back of the card, he is VC167 in the line, and there we have the other figures in the wave. Luke Stormtrooper, K2SO, which I reviewed yesterday. Be sure to check out that video. Power Droid, and the Clone Commander Wolf, which I will be reviewing probably tomorrow. So there you go. Lovely Star Wars chase there. I've got a feeling that they might have improved the card stock on these Vintage Collection figures. They do seem a little bit sturdier. That might just be me. I'll have to compare them to other figures that we have. Something to notice on that one though is that the Star Wars chase is slightly off. It hasn't been cut that well particularly, but then again, figures that I've got from back in the day are like that as well, so maybe that just adds to the charm. But there you go, that's the card back, and we're going to open this sucker up and we're going to take a look at the figure. Alright, so here is the Power Droid out of the packaging, and I'm pretty impressed with this. I like the look of it. I like the colour grey blue that they've chosen for the Power Droid. I think that's pretty screen accurate, and he does have some very nice antennas and detailing going on the head part of the droid, which actually is removable. So this sculpt or mold has been used in the past for previous gonk droids, I guess you can call them. I think there was one in the Droids 3-pack for the Vintage Collection, which was like a grey colour droid, and I'm pretty sure it did that as well. But it's a new headpiece for sure with all these extra bits on it, which does make it more screen accurate for the droid that's walking around Luke's homestead when I believe it's when Aunt Beru calls out to Luke and he looks down in that hole in the ground. You can see the droid walking about then, very briefly I must admit, but he is there. I do like the paint apps on the figure, especially this white band that goes around it where it's not perfectly painted to make him look more rustic, and there's also some like oil stains or some dirt and grime all around the figure, which is very nice indeed. I do like the way they've done that. Not really over sure about these black markings there on the front of him. I guess it adds a bit of detail. I'm not really sure if I like that or not. The Power Droid in general is one of my favourite figures. Here he is against the original Kenner version, and as you can see there is a lot of similarities between the two, albeit with the vintage one being, you know, let's face it, a little bit more basic I guess, but this one's got a lot of charm to it. Unfortunately, this one, the new one, doesn't have the clicky legs. That was something that this one always had, which was great. But obviously, we're not here to review the vintage one, but the vintage one is one of my favourite figures from that line. But the Vintage Collection one also does have that certain charm to it as well, albeit not so much, I think. The legs do have some articulation. They do have some hinges in there, so you can get him into like a walking pose like that. And there also is a hinge on the foot, so you can turn the foot like that. So you might want to have him in a walking pose or just standing there. There's a little bit of wire detail going from inside the droid to the back of his feet as well. So you might want to be a little bit careful not to rotate his feet too much in case you end up pulling that out. But there you go, you can see he does have these little antenna dishes out of the headpiece there. And some other little, I guess, eyes for the droid. And some nice paint apps going all the way around. You've got a bit of blue there, a bit of yellow and red. Nice bit of red on the back there as well, and also some sculpted details of wiring and stuff on the head. If we take the headpiece off, you can see the inner workings of the droid, and I guess they didn't have to do this because for the most part you're probably going to be displaying the figure with the headpiece on, but there is some nice paint applications as well on the internal of the droid with some nice silver paints there for the inner workings and some wires with a bit of red and yellow paint, as you can see. All the way around they've done that with some nice silver painted details for all the inner workings and electronics of the droid, and some nice sculpt work just in general on the inside of the droid there. Head goes on pretty nicely, and it doesn't seem to have too much gap between the piece. I think that's pretty decent. But that is the Power Droid, ladies and gentlemen, and I think this figure would look decent in pretty much anyone's collection of droids. It's going to add to mine for sure, and yeah, he's just going to look great in the collection, I think. So just give you some more views of him all the way round. That's what he looks like on top. So as I say, some nice details sculpted in there. These are like a soft plastic, they do bend, so maybe you want to be careful of those, not to bend them out of shape. Everything else is hard moulded plastic, so it's just those that are bendy. The legs have got like a nice sort of gunmetal grey paint app to them, which is nice, and a tiny bit of detail on the sides, and obviously that effect there that they've got on the legs. All in all, a decent figure, and as I say, it'll look decent in the collection. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think of this figure? Is it a good addition to the vintage collection? I personally feel it's long overdue. On that Star Wars card, I think he was a 20 back originally, so he's one of the first 20 figures or 21 figures in the original Kenner line, so it's well overdue that we got this Power Droid in the vintage collection. But let me know if you enjoyed this video by dropping a like down below. Thanks very much for watching as usual, and can't wait to do the next review, which will be Commander Wolf. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.